1 2 1 2. I think we're back. Okay, we're back. Okay, sorry for the sorry for the slow start there. I had a wee bit of technical difficulties, but let's roll the intro one more time. Then yeah, okay. It takes a bit of time for the sound to feed through, but nonetheless, I hope everyone is well today. Welcome to the Heinz Report Case Files edition. We have been doing this if you're in the UK, it will be every evening, but if you're stateside, it'll be every afternoon from 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Central time, and 1 o'clock uh Pacific time. I hope I got those times correctly. But for the Heinz Report Case File editions, what we primarily do, primarily do is go through important documents and such as transcripts from a case that has already been adjudicated, etc., and we just go through them live with you and do a code read. That was the concept behind this, but I did not really think I would act out on it really this quickly because let's face it, it is quite expensive to get core documents. But thank you so much to Kat Wagner, who on our channel, Good Take, Bad Take. Make sure you subscribe to her. She took it on herself and got the court documents for the Joffrey Majors trial, which we have been covering on this channel. She also has a GoFundMe, to basically contributions towards that, but she has obtained those documents and has released it. I will put it in the description of this stream, but massive shout out to her for making it possible. So that's what we're going to be looking at on this stream. We're going to be going through the testimony of Grace Jabbari, who was the key witness in this trial. She was the one that was allegedly, well, I can't say allegedly now because he's been found guilty of third-degree misdemeanor assault, reckless, not intentional, reckless. So maybe I can't say allegedly intentionally beating her, but or anything like that, but it was reckless nonetheless. And we are going through her events of what happened in the relationship, etc. We stopped last time on page 61, I believe. So we're gonna revisit that today. But before we do, I'm just gonna go and say hi to the chat. Solodov, thank you so much for that info update. Yes, I'm glad to have sound because it was quite rocky at the start there, wasn't it? But yeah, thank you. And also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Very important. But yeah, we cover legal cases on here. We have covered the That We Heard in docuseries format for Legal Labyrinths. Make sure you go check that out on the main page, which basically I'm releasing interviews for that coverage. We've also covered Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion. Well, the state versus Tory Lanez. Meg Thee Stallion was the key witness. We've compiled all the information in regards to that case, and it's also available on the channel. We are going to cover the case of the OnlyFans murderer Courtney Clenny, the state Miami versus Courtney Clenny. That is set to go trial very soon, so we're going to be live streaming that once it becomes available to live stream. So those are what we do. That's what we primarily do on the channel. Go into deep dive into legal cases and cover legal cases. And just like this one, we have been covering it since the beginning, since the arrest. You can go find a playlist of that on the title card or in the description. All of it will be there for you. You can go watch that. But yeah, going back into the transcripts, let me just get that ready for every single one of you, because going back into the transcripts of Grace Jabbari has been, to be honest, wild. If I'm being generous, if I'm being generous, because I think we stopped on page 61. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, page 61, and not the actual 61 on the on the page tab. So I believe it was here. I should have done the red highlight, but yes, I think this is it. I believe this is it. Yes, this is the one. This is the one. Yeah, because she went away, she came back. So yes, for those that missed the previous stream, for for those that missed the previous stream, she Grace was giving a full background on the relationship that she had with Jonathan Majors, and and what happened, the different incidents that had occurred. You can catch the stream, but I'm just gonna give a quick cliff notes of that. And she stopped basically on their first two incidents as a couple. First it was a dog, and then it was what happened, him shouting at her and yelling at her at Glastonbury, etc. Sorry, not at Glastonbury because he wasn't there, but but he was on the phone with her. Going after all of that, there was another incident in LA. Again, no, this is physical because Grace has never testified to him being physically abusive with her. That has to be noted because a lot of people assume, based on the texts, he was physically abusive. This was not the case. That's a whole separate issue because the police were also involved in that, and that case is not even going to trial. So it's important to note there. But yeah, so for those also interested, we I done a stream with Liana Kersner, who basically went through who where her and I dissected the interview, the ABC interview of Jonathan Majors, and we gave insights to the article that was written to try and make sense of it, because there was a lot of language being used, like Darvo, uh, how people would act, our victims would act in the situation, how Jonathan was weaponizing Darvo. That's what she was saying on the person that was in the article, in the Guardian article. So go and watch that stream. It'll be also be added to the cards or in the um in the description. So before we start and read the transcript of Grace Jabbari, make sure you share this stream. Please, please, please share this stream, like the stream, so that others can join in, and so that it can appease the algorithm, so that people can join in and find the stream much easier. So I'm gonna go into the transcript. Thank you so much for your patience. Let's begin. So this is where we stopped last time. They after Grace had left the courtroom, she now returns. The judge reminds her she's still under oath. She must have nodded at this point, and uh, Assistant DA Oscar, you were speaking about how the defendant was yelling. I will zoom down in a little bit for you. Yeah, 1 second. There's something I just have to. Uh, I think I am. I think I am. Okay, that should do it. All right. Nope. Nope. That's not it. Okay, that should do it. I think you guys can still hear me. There was a bit of echo there, so it should be gone by now. But yeah, so this is, so go and say you're speaking about how the defendant was yelling at you. How loud was the defendant yelling at you? Like at his full capacity. What, if anything, were you saying in response? Grace response saying nothing. At what happened next? Grace goes on to say, yeah, like I said, was picking up the stuff that was broken, and these two strangers, like separately, a man and a woman, ran over and just kind of was like, "Are you okay? Do you need us to call anyone?" Objection. This must likely be hearsay because the last comment was disregarded. So based on what the defendant was yelling at you, what did you do next? I walked as fast as I could back to the house. I called a friend to see if they were home. Did you make it to the house? I made it to my house. Yeah. What did you do when you arrived at the house? I walked up to the dressing room and just started to like get a bag of stuff together. And why were you packing your bags? because he told me to leave because he had told me to leave. This is important, and the reason why I was sneaking a little bit there is because in the previous stream that we done, she was minimizing her behavior to make it seem like, okay, he he wants me back. um he lost his temper the previous night, which was what the candles was representing, etc. That's what she was saying. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want you back, etc. But now we are reading here because she's saying, oh, I was packing my bags because, or he was packing my bags because he wanted me to leave. It's not congruent, is what I'm trying to say. That just doesn't make sense. Someone wants you back, but yet you're packing your bags to go because he wants you to leave. Okay, let's move on. Because he had told me to leave. And were you able to pack any of your belongings? No. Why not? Because I heard him like running upstairs, so I just kind of froze. Why did you freeze? Because I could hear him coming. What happened next? He proceeded to like grab everything from like the wardrobe. Anything he could see, he just grabbed like past me and was throwing it this into this room, another room. Yeah, swiping everything into bags or like on the floor, or just moving it and throwing it. And anything I had bought him, he was just like breaking or taking out, like walking down the stairs, taking it outside to the trash bag bins outside there. So yeah, I just kind of, you could stop. I'm leaving. I promise. Just please stop. You don't need to do this. Like, so I just got my keys and got in my car. Okay, so we did go through this a little bit. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a recap. On the because we went through this on the last stream. She says like a lot. I just thought I noticed that because I'm gonna, after these streams, I'm gonna maybe develop that habit to worse than what it was before. But she's just like a lot. Anyway, moving on. I'm backing up a little bit. While the defendant was taking your belongings, can you explain to the members of the jury where they were in the home? Yeah, when he started, it was like he was going into the changing room and taking things off the hangers, and I was stood, yeah, like very close to him. I was just still, and he was kind of walking and just getting everything. I stood still for the majority of that until he started then going downstairs with some of the items, and then doing the same with any items downstairs, which was when I was saying to him, just stop. I'm going, like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to make it this mess kind of thing. Okay. How were you feeling at the time? Scared, upset, confused? Was the defendant saying anything while he did this? He was just blaming me. He was like, this is your fault. You've ruined, you've disturbed, you disturbed the peace or something like that, and kept saying how they are, things like that. Again, like I said, she is putting it on him. Watch what happens next. Did you okay? Withdrawn. What did you take the defendant's statements to mean? He was upset that I had come home the previous night with my friend and brought her into the house when he wanted. He decided that he didn't want anyone there. I think is what I thought. I still don't know really. I still don't really know actually. You say that that the defender broke some belongings. All right. So he broke. Okay. So this is again. This is, oh, okay. I've gone a bit too far up, but yeah, this was we discussed a lot of this on the stream. That was a bit too far off to recap. Yeah, I believe it's 68. Right. So this is where yeah, so we are here. Okay, so this is when they play the recording. So I don't want to go too far down in this case. Okay. So we stopped here. Right. So it says here, sorry, Jonathan was texting me. He was saying things like, yeah, basically worrying. I was telling people what he had been doing, and like worrying that it would ruin our potential future relationship if my parents found out, and it's going to ruin, I want to marry you, and this will ruin it if you tell anyone. So we stopped here. But what had basically happened the day before was basically, well, as she was describing here, he was kicking her out because of the issues that they had. But in the process of kicking her out, breaking the, with the stuff that was broken, we saw the pictures of that on the previous stream. With that kind of stuff that was broken, she is now turning around to say, oh, he didn't want her to go. He was basically saying, you ruin everything if you did go, if you tell anyone, etc. And she goes on to say, and I promised you, I'm not saying anything. I just wanted to get out of the house. And he was like, basically like, I love you. I'm going to put everything back, make it really nice. Let's just start fresh. Just come back. I love you. Again, like I said in the previous stream, this doesn't sound like somebody that is trying to get rid of you. It sounds like somebody that's trying to get someone back. And the only person that will stand to be in that position of trying to get someone back would be Grace Jabbari, based on her own testimony and based on what would have likely happened, based on what I thought did happen, because a lot of people did say that, but then again, it's fan sites, so they would be a bit biased, but they didn't know Grace Jabbari at this time. But they were basically saying he was single, very single at the time of October, I believe. So this might be indicative of that time. Again, I don't know. It's speculative. Cannot really corroborate with for certainty anything like that. But it seems to me here that this is supposed to be the other way around. But moving on, why did you return home? Because I believed him. I saw the temper I always saw as the thing he didn't want to have. Like, I didn't ever think it was malicious, really. I just thought he can't control it. He does love me, and like he was telling me everything that made me feel good after, and I believed him. What happened when you returned home? I returned home, and I think because I had been with friends, I felt probably more strong to just say, like, I forgive you, but please, this has to stop. Yeah. But because I said that, instead of coming back and just pretending nothing had happened, which was probably my pattern before, he then got heated again. What do you mean by heated? Raised his voice, shouted at me. And what, if anything, was the defendant saying? Just like, how dare I go out calling me an alcoholic? I'm an embarrassment to him. And like, I need to realize that, like, when he's busy, I should just be waiting at home, like, not doing anything. And like, when he's busy, it's not time for me to go to my friends. I need to keep it nice for him. Like he said, this is just happening. And why was I not doing that kind of stuff like that? Again, if this happened the way she's represented, there's a real psychological warfare going on here. If this happened as she's representing, that this guy would be packing up your things, telling you to get out. This is intentional, and then all of a sudden, at the flick of a switch, he's just like, "Oh, no, don't go, don't tell your parents this and that." But she didn't say that she was going to tell his parents, tell his friends, and that. So unless she had said, I'm going to tell my parents what had happened to you, which of course would be what happened, I'm going to tell them everything, this and that. Unless she volunteered that information and said, yeah, I'm going to do that, it would make no sense why Jonathan would just flick and just turn around on his own and be like, oh no, don't tell your, we can work it. Let's clean up this mess. I read it again. It's not her, it's him saying this. That's what she's testifying to. It's not making sense to me. Like, so many things have to occur for this to even be remotely true. But I don't know. I have no idea at this point. Have you had conversations like this before previously? Yes. Okay. So they handed the exhibit. Chowdhury, miss, can you represent this? Blah blah. So they're going through housekeeping. So they're proffering it now for the jury to understand what it is. So basically, it says, it's a recording I made, a portion at time he was shouting at me. How do you know that to be true? Because I listened to it since and signed it. When did you listen to it? With you? And when was that? 2 days ago. What is on the USB? Is that a fair and accurate, indeed, exact recording of the statements that the defendant made to you on September 19, 2022? Yes. Yeah, okay, so they proffered it into evidence. No object. I don't believe. Okay, so there was a voir dire. So it says any objection would you have to voir dire. So the voir dire. Voir dire is a process of. To be honest, I only know voir dire in the process of jury selection. So I don't really know what it would be like for evidence or anything like that. I would assume it would be just a discussion on why it is relevant and how it might impact the jury, for example. That's the only thing I can guess on. I don't really know. Kind of wish I had a lawyer right here, right now, but we have to do with what we have. So I'm guessing it will be similar to what you see at the in during jury selection, which is just qualifying the audio. So I'm gonna go to a chat real quick. Jamal Solomon says, yeah, compulsive liar. I agree. I do think that there is a lot of. I don't think she's a liar like that, because you would make things up out of the blue that doesn't exist. I don't think she's a liar in that sense, but I do think she does minimize a lot. I do think that's possible. I do think there is. I can tell just by what she's saying, the mood shift that she's attributing um to Jonathan. All of these things would require cues for any human being to do, unless he's like this schizophrenic, borderline psychopath all rolled into one, that would just be intentionally packing your bags for you to go, and then all of a sudden, no, come back. Uh, that's a bit hard for me to understand, unless you guys were playing like in a row or something like that. Even then, I'll find it hard to believe, unless that's happening. I find it very hard to believe that Grace had nothing to do with that. Zero input, said nothing, and that was just, how it is. So it says, Solar Duff says, who is in this relationship? Grace, Jonathan, and her parents so far crowded. I don't think her parents are as involved as she is making it out to be. I think they are likely to have heard about this incident, know about this incident, but in terms of them speaking to Jonathan about it, I don't think they're involved in that capacity, if that makes sense, in that kind of, I don't think they had that kind of involvement. From what I'm reading, I just think she told them about certain things that was going on. Jamia Solomon says, don't forget her best friend who she tells but didn't tell much about her closed off relationship with Jonathan. I won't forget that. I'll bear that in mind. I think the alcohol changes the reality of the relationship. And if she does drink every day, because she did volunteer that information for the older sea control. And they said that she drank, I don't want to get this wrong. I don't want to get it wrong. My memory is fallible here, but she did get a 5 in the Odyssey score, and the threshold was 3. And this was that Odyssey test was for alcohol consumption. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I can't remember the exact units that was being proffered. Let me go on my side. I know I wrote it down. Okay, so I'm gonna. So, it's here somewhere. So let me go to it real quickly. It should be, yeah, because Danny did provide the info for this. No, it wouldn't be this one. It'll be this one. So you can go check out drheinz.info to see the testimonies that may not be going through here. It was compiled here, but if I'm not mistaken, it should be here. Okay, it's not here. It's not on this one. I was hoping it's here. So this is day 8, Chloe, etc. Day 8. Should be this one. Okay. In the meantime, as we because we are going to go back into into reading this. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Right. Okay. So no, that's not it. That's not it. So that's Grace testimony. It's still not here. Okay, it's not here. I really should. I really should make this a lot easier to access. Apologies for this, guys. I will definitely fix this up for the next stream. Right. No, I didn't. Oh, maybe I have not accepted it yet. No, I have. I know I have. I'm sure that I have. Apologies for these guys. Apologies. No, I've been here already. Wait. No, I've been here already. It's probably on a. It's probably on a later excerpt. I think it should be this one. Should be this one. Ronnie Alan Ruspoli, Tammy Wiener. No, that's okay. Nope, that's not it. Not that one. I didn't mean it was that one. So it's not that one. Should be this one. Please be this one. No, unless we've been here already. Yes, we have been here. It's not that one either. Never mind. Oh, it is this one. Damn it. Oh, I have these moments, guys. I'm so sorry. I have these moments. It's called boomer moments. So it was Dr. Chiang, William Chang. I had these moments. Grace, she had a fine hairline fracture. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Doctor, I did. It's not that one. On redirect. Yes. So scores. It should be free when you use 4 or more. I should have. It should be free here for women. Yes, that's the one. And it's called women. So for women only, I don't see numeracy score. So the 4, when your scores 4 or more. So that is like a referral to get a referral, but Grace didn't get a referral. So this was scoring 3 or more. Grace scored a 5, but I think the units that the consume is here. It says she also the first step was not to the 4, 5, etc. She also told the conductor. That the test 2 or 3 times, that 2 to 3 times a month she had consumed 6 or more drinks. So 6 or more drinks 2 to 3 times a month. 2 to 3 times a month, 6 or more drinks, as shared by Danny on the stream. So she consumed 6 or more drinks 2 to 3 times a month. If we're to, that would be 2 or 3 times a week, basically. If it's 2 or 3 times a month, it will be on the weekends consuming 6 or more drinks. I'm going by what I heard. If she scored that much, I'm guessing it'll be units like glasses, etc. So yeah. Going back to the reading here. Okay, so she recorded it with her iPhone. Did you put okay, from what I'm reading here, the voir dire here would be a quick cross-examination, maybe not really cross-examination, but from what I understand here, it will be where prayer gets to ask non-leading open questions to understand how this audio come about for the sake of the jury. I don't think the jury has been excused here. Otherwise, the judge would have said it for the record. Did you have the phone out in a way that majors could see? Yeah, it was placed in the. I'm going to object, Your Honor, as to representation sustained. It's a foundational question. You can ask that on cross. Okay, so the foundation just open questions only. Nothing, and quite limited to just establishing how this was received, not necessarily. I don't know actually. I'll disregard everything I said there. I actually don't know this one. And did you edit that recording in any way? No. Was the original recording the exact one we are going to hear in this courtroom? Yes. Did you turn over all the versions of the recording? Objection, again, cross not foundational. Okay, based on that, yeah, that wouldn't really be relevant if you're trying to lay behind, if you're trying to lay how they got something, not what they did with the thing that they got. Well, editing would fall into foundation, so maybe a bit of what they did, but it's limited. Anyway, moving on. Just one more question. That is not the entire conversation that is recorded, right? Yes. So the question, so to the question of Ms. Galloway, is that the exact? And I think that the answer cannot be yes. Then, all right. So you have an objection to foundation. Just that it's a portion of the conversation. I have no objection. Thank you. So without the objection, the portion of the conversation will be admitted into evidence at People's 7's evidence. They published to the jury. They moved on. Okay, so Judge, okay. So they published it. It's just saying, for the record. So ADA took over once more. Let me go to the chat real quick. Can be used to add stipulations on trials, like the judge saying this is information's background. Okay, so I'm guessing you're talking about the voir dire, even though she's just tipsy. But the both the jury, I believe, did consider it. Maybe I don't trust the jury considered anything. It's being reported Searchlight Pictures are unlikely to release magazine Dreams now because of this conviction. They say, I don't believe that. They'll release it. I don't believe that. They're just saying that just to test the waters and see what the reception will be. If there is a support or even no backlash whatsoever, they're going to release it. So far, I haven't seen any backlash in regards to Jonathan Majors outside of a couple of internet trolls. They're not going to. They've already produced the movie. It's already a company that's bleeding money. Disney this would be they're bleeding money. They're not just gonna scrap all that money just because a few people on the internet are not happy. They're not. They, like, if they really want to make a point and cancel all of this based on a misdemeanor for someone with no criminal record, they can, but they need to. I personally believe to sink all that 200 million, they need everyone to be loud, and I think they're just putting it out there just so that they can see what it's like. Okay, so he says, Jameer says, I'm add a quick comment on that 2 or 3 times a month. It's kind of weird. That's a guess when every background story she told was definitely over the limit. She said, by the way, I'm going by Danny's memory. So those were excerpts. They were not actual testimonies. Danny was at the court. We didn't have any court transcripts until now. So those were just excerpts that we read on my site, Dr. Heinz info, Dr. Heinz.info. So those were just excerpts. And I was transcribing everything that Danny was telling me. So that was what Danny was telling me. I don't know if that's what was said in the courtroom. It probably wasn't, but we're gonna find out anyway. It's gonna be, but well, actually, no, that came from the doctor, so we're not gonna find out to an extent. But we're gonna find out about her drinking, most likely during a cross. So we're gonna go back into we're gonna go back into the transcript after this reading. So he says, Z says, this is gonna be my last time watching videos about Jonathan Majors and the trial. Not because I don't care, but man, all this hate online really destroys me, man. I don't blame you, Z. I do appreciate that you're here though, but I really don't blame you. I thank you for at least choosing this to be the last stream that you watch. So I hope you are enjoying yourself, and I hope you have learned a bit of a thing or two. I feel what you're feeling. It is very triggering. Can I say triggering? For lack of better words, triggering to know what you know, see the evidence that you've seen, and then you go online and you see people that they haven't even looked at this case or even watched anything. They haven't even given it a chance, and they're chatting BS online. I know how that feels. So I don't even blame you for wanting to turn it off, because hey, do what you have to do. But for those that are still interested, I'm going to be going through these transcripts and getting it done as soon as possible, because it is important to have these mementos in time out there in case somebody decides to be curious about this case and then sees the facts for themselves. But I do believe there's a massive blackout right now that has been caused. There's a lot of damage that's been caused by the mainstream media by omitting a lot of facts from the public, because again, the public don't even know that Grace ever testified that Jonathan never physically abused her. They don't know that. So these transcripts are the best way to prove that was the case. He never did that. Grace said it herself. But thank you so much anyway for joining the stream, Z. Okay, so we're gonna go back. Ms. Jabbari, did you understand what the defendant meant by the plan? Yeah, he had said that I should make like the house nice for the next 2 weeks, while he was working so intensely, and I agreed. I said, yeah, I'll try everything. I said to keep it nice, peaceful at home. I guess that's what he meant by the plan. The defendant indicated to you that you couldn't bring your friends over? No. In the recording, the defendant refers to you as drunk? Yeah. Did you yourself feel drunk? No. As I said, maybe tipsy, but not drunk. Don't believe you. The defendant spoken. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Like, I think if you were really not tipsy as you categorized it, I don't know. And the fact that you were sneaking drinks from the restaurant you guys went to, I don't know about you, but if you were living in fear of this man, only alcohol will give you that bravery to chase after him. And that's me giving her the benefit of the doubt. If she did not drink that day and she did what she did and chase after him on the video, I find it very hard to believe that she wasn't drinking. Like, you have to be drinking to do that. If that's you normally, then I'm sorry. Like, all of this is a joke. Moving on. Had the defendant spoken to you in the same way previously? He had done this particular wording when we were at the park or the heath. Based on this conversation, what did you understand your role in the relationship to be? Just to keep him in a good place. Probably at that point I realized, like, well, he's working, yeah, I should be out of action. Can you explain to the members of the jury what you mean by that? Just, yeah, like, I guess that he has to come first, like it was. And I understood. I think at the time, I don't know, it's hard looking back, but if I could do anything to help his mood and his stress levels, then I should. And come first how? Just above anyone else? Why did you record this conversation with the defendant? I think because of the action following. I think because of the action following the following day, and having spoken to some friends, I just felt safest from now on keeping documentation of his temper he got in. So this is important because people were saying online that this is a perfect point to clip, screenshot this, etc. Blah blah blah. This is the perfect point to screenshot and show to anyone who said that she was afraid for her life, or she was afraid that she might hit him, etc. That's not what she's saying here. She's saying I need to document his temper. That's what she's saying. I felt safest from now on keeping documentation of each temper he got into. For what reason? Okay. How would you put the defendant first in your relationship? Just making sure I was home if he was about to come home, or making food, stuff like that. Did the defendant yelling at you on September 19th impact how you behave around the defendant? Yes, yeah. And what did the defendant do after yelling at you? I just kept saying, I'm sorry. I took all the blame, basically. I think it continued because I would say, but you shouldn't have done this. Like, I understand and you're upset with me, but it doesn't have to get to this point. But ultimately, when I just took the full blame, is how to calm him down, basically. So I just did that. And it was kind of peaceful. We just ordered a takeout and had a nice-ish evening. And you said it impacted your relationship. How so? I feel like at this point in the relationship, I feared him physically quite a lot. And how did that impact how you acted around him? I couldn't really just be myself, I guess, whatever that means, just like on edge. Can you explain to the members of the jury what you mean by that? Just worried that I could do something that I could put him into his angry state. So I think affected my confidence. I felt like I had to keep a lot of secrets from everyone. So I felt very isolated. And he was kind of the only person who knew what was going on between. Yeah. So I felt it was confusing because I felt really scared of him, but quite dependent on him. Yeah, sorry. All right. Remember what I said on the previous stream, that this girl was coach, likely? I'm convinced that she was coach. I'm really convinced that she was coach, because you're saying all of this, but the truth of the matter is, at least the truth that you want us to believe implicitly, is that you were scared of this guy because he might do something one day. She's not saying it. That's the one thing I'm picking it out. She's not saying I was, you know, it's, you want her to say it, but if you're really, if this was, if it doesn't seem like there was real fear here. It seems like if there was any truth to anything that she was saying, it seems like she's using this memory. The memory that she's giving us here, to me, seems like somebody who was actually helping them go through their anger management process. That's what I'm getting from this. It doesn't sound like someone that was actually scared that he might do something to her alive. The documentation thing did steer me towards this belief, but seeing the whole testimony and how it developed, the friends, the isolation, those parts sounds like she was coach, not coach. I'm not gonna allegedly coach, my own opinion, but it seems like she was basically just instructed to lay it as succinctly as possible, because unless you study this, like, cycle abuse and all those things, unless you study it, it's not like, you can't pick it up as succinctly as she's picking it up, because this is something that you kind of have to learn, like really learn to notice the signs, etc. And someone guaranteed told her what she was going through, and she's now relaying it in court. But what I'm seeing here is the reality from what she's saying is, it sounds like she was actually helping him. As he said he was getting help for all these things. It sounds like she was helping him do that. The recording, as she's putting forward all of these things, it sounds like that's what she was doing, not in a sense of, oh, I'm scared he might flip out again, so let me have something, I'm scared, like, flip out to hurt me. It's more of, hey, you got angry today, this is what you sound like, please change. It sounds like that. I'm just gonna go check the chat real quickly. Private life is kind of weird, of course. Okay, let's do a quick math. She recorded maybe 2 incidents out of 2 years. Doesn't sound like his temper as bad as she thinks. Now, when he was upset that she told her friend his business or their private life, it's kind of weird. Okay, Jamia Solomon, thank you so much for that chat. Yeah, I mean, the testimony is all over the place, I will say, but the truth, you can glean the truth from it. There is a lot of reality shoved in there, but I feel like there's a lot of misstatements as well, or misrepresentations. Z, thank you so much for this chat. It says, I appreciate the info you and others are reported accurately than the MSM. I don't celebrity worship Jonathan Majors, but it's the principle of the situation that's heartbreaking that us Black folks have to deal with. I really do understand, and I really do appreciate you for sticking around and watching the stream. Honestly, I would advise anyone that is going through this, because this topic, it is difficult. I don't do this to try and change anyone's minds. It's just getting the facts out. So don't feel like my opinions are to sway you in any way or make someone believe you, and I hope they don't gaslight you, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to do my best to analyze this situation. I don't want the last thing. I'll be fair. the last thing I want is for people to make up their minds before they see the all information. That even includes people that believe what I believe, because I do believe he's innocent. But I don't want you to make your mind up because I said so. I want you to see the facts for yourself and come up with your own conclusions. That's why I do this. It's not to change, or it's not change anyone's minds. It's just to, hey, they left this out. This is for you. That kind of thing. So I hope that you guys come here with an open mind to try and learn and gather info. Not that I'm an education channel or anything like that, but I'm more trying to be entertaining at the same time to give you guys a good time. So, that's all I have to say. I do cover legal cases on here. So yeah, so we are approximately 50 minutes into the stream, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So do like this stream, because you made it this far. You're clearly enjoying yourself. Like, share this stream with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. Also support support me and any creator that you guys are watching with a super chat, super thanks. If you're watching on replay, anything that you feel is of proportionate value, donate and support the creator. I would like to say thank you so much in advance should you decide to do that. But we're going to go right back into the transcript read. So it goes on to say here, Grace Jabbari says it's okay. Sorry, not Grace Jabbari. Prosecution says it's okay when you say you had to keep secrets. Can you explain what you mean by that? I kind of promised him I would never tell anyone what went on. All right. Again, like I said, if he's going through anger management, I can see why you wouldn't want to tell someone on. The DA took the path of saying there was a pattern of abuse. Could they have got with an expert to basically help her come to this realization? That's possible. But from what I'm reading here, it just I don't know. There's, like I said, there's a lot of misrepresentations, and I'm going to do my best to try and pass through and get to something. So moving on, it says, after the defendant yelled at you, did you get to the chance to go to see the state of the bedroom? He had put everything back. Did you continue your relationship with the defendant? Yes. Why is that? I loved him. And Your Honor, limiting instruction, is that the end of September? End of September. Okay, so again, the same thing that was read yesterday. We'll deal with that. All right. Just heard a testimony about the incident around September 19th between Ms. Jabbari and Mr. Majors. That evidence was not offered and must not be considered for the purpose of proving that the defendant had a propensity or predisposition to commit the crimes charged in this case. It was offered as evidence for your consideration, as background information. If you find the evidence believable, you may consider it for the limited purpose and for no other. Okay, Ms. Galloway, that's the prosecution. So they're going right back now. So that evidence is the instruction here is that they should only consider it for background, and only background is limited to background, just to see it, but not to prove that he actually did assault based on that evidence. So directing your attention to September 20th, 2022, were you working from that day from home? Can you explain what you were doing? I was just kind of sorting out admin emails, speaking with my agents, things like that. Did there come a time when the defendant became upset with you on September 20th? Yes. What was he upset with you about? I had made like a setting on my phone that was like a do not disturb work setting. On iPhone, you can press like you get certain only people to come through to you. Why did you do that? Because I was just getting really distracted, so I just thought, let me just make this little setting, and I made that just my agent would be the only one to be able to call me. And what happened next? He was at work, and he obviously texted me, and my phone come up that he was on a mode, and he was angry at that. Wait, chat. If someone has their phone on do not disturb, for example, and you message them on a text, does it actually notify the other person that you are on work mode and you can't reply? Or just notify them? Like, let me know in the chat, please, because that doesn't sound I don't know. Is that a thing? Let me just test it. What about her? I don't know. I've just set it up in work mode, so I wouldn't expect any texts, but I'm not really a popular guy like that. So, but yeah, let me know in the chat if you know anything like that. Jamia Solomon says if she would have done it like that, like she was saving it to show him, this would have been a different trial altogether. I mean, it still would have been material, but she's not saying what I'm thinking she should be saying. She should be saying he was getting anger management clauses. That would make more sense. I'm reading this and I'm like, this is this similar to helping someone go through, so I don't know, something like addiction, drugs, and alcohol. So I'm kind of attributing that kind of anecdote to anger management. Say it might be a similar process. I have never been through anger management professionally. I did have anger issues as a child, but never been through it professionally. So I don't know what the setting is like, but it just seems like somebody who is giving them help for a problem that they have. It doesn't sound like someone who, is living in fear of somebody. Because anyway, moving on. How did you know that how do you know the defendant was angry? He was basically saying things like, well, if this is what you're doing, we might as well break up. And I thought, yeah, can I look at that? Is there something that would refresh your recollection? Yes. Well, what would that be? Says the judge. The text messages that he sent. All right. Just look at them, see if see if it refreshes your recollection. If it does, say yes, it does, and then just put it down. Grace says yes. You'll be asked questions. Okay, thank you. You can't read from them, but you can look at them. Okay, just kind of glance. Okay, okay, I remember. Yeah, okay, I remember. All right. Do you want to re-ask your question? Yes, Your Honor. How did you know that the defendant was angry at you? He commented on being upset with it, just saying, well, if this is what you're doing, do I need to do it kind of back? Do it back kind of thing? How would he would say, let's just break up if this is what you're doing? And I tried to explain to him. I said I just made the setting. I didn't even know how it even finished. I wouldn't have actively not let his texts come through, but I hadn't really thought a bit like that. And I explained that. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm going to change it now. Let me just delete it. It's a stupid thing anyway. It doesn't mean anything. But he was just saying, I can't trust you now. Yeah. I don't know. What are you talking about? This is all over the place. What do you mean? Off a setting? What did you say in like there's a lot, there's more to this setting thing. I don't know what it is, but there's more to this setting thing. Like it can't be this small or this simple that he will just be like, oh, you're on work profile and you're not getting my messages. So yeah, let me just go to the chat real quick. Tommy says, so you and Danny, there's a chance. Tommy and the Voodoo. Unless you're referring to the Dre Max stream where I made that joke, then maybe, I don't know. But I wasn't making a joke at Danny. I was making a joke at there was someone. Oh wait, unless you're referring to it wasn't Danny though, but it was someone else. But okay, it wasn't someone. It was basically me, just basically saying, "Oh, I'm not that ugly, so I have a chance with women or something like that." Like that was a joke, but so I don't know what you're referring to. Basically, Z says I have never heard of phone informing someone that they're on D&D mode, but I use Android, not iPhone. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Maybe she told him and just doesn't mention it. I have no idea. Yeah, unless you told him and then he just, but she's not. These are information that you volunteer. You need to volunteer it. Like you need to say, I told him and provide as much. But like I said, this is how minimizations occur. It could be a true event. But it requires context. So all of these things, I don't doubt they could be true somewhere. They could be true, but in a vacuum, on its own, it doesn't make sense, because I know she's minimizing something. It's improbable that it's just not probable that this girl is doing this, saying all this, and then he just out of nowhere, oh, you're on airplane mode. Ugh. Who even knows that would happen? But again, it just sounds like she's minimizing a lot. Anyway, moving on. What did you say in response? Just that I was sorry that it was stupid and I didn't mean to hurt you. How did it go? Okay, hurt you probably means not texting back, or this was in reference to the settings changes on your phone. Yes. And what happened next? I just again was apologetic. I said I'm really sorry. It's embarrassing that I even did it. I love you and I love you. And he turned around. He was like turned his tone and was like, yeah, I overreacted. I'm sorry. I love you too. And that was it. So there is more to this. I actually believe this. There's a part of me that does say yes. There was an argument over the phone settings, but another part of me is saying there's more to that argument. It cannot just be over the phone. They talked about a bit more, but we're gonna move on. But I just don't think it was just like there's her side is not being told here. It's just his. His side or what really happened is not really being told. Just what she would like you to know. And how did this impact your relationship? Just felt like really fragile. Was really fragile. I wasn't sure what things I would do that could lead to him being upset. So I just felt how did that impact you? I just felt really uncomforted and like really small. I just felt like I can't be, I'm not good enough for him. Everything I do is bad. Okay. Everything I just felt like I was being a rubbish girlfriend. Why did you feel that way? Because I seem to put him in these moods, with things I was doing, which is stuff that I was previous to him, privy to him, maybe didn't think were bad. Oh, previously didn't think they were bad. Okay. And did you change the settings on your phone? Yeah, I changed it back. Yeah. Directing your attention to September 22. This must be Toronto Film Festival. Did the defendant become a stage reader at this point? Your Honor, could you please read the limiting instruction? I think we're moving on. Is this a different? Yes. Okay. Yes. Just days apart. We could read the limiting instruction. So read the instruction again. So I'll read it to you. It says, so with the testimony you just heard that about that incident between Ms. Jabbari and Mr. Majors was not offered and must not be considered for the purposes of proving that the defendant had a propensity of a predisposition to commit the crimes charged in this case. It was offered as evidence for your consideration, as a background information. If you find the evidence believable, you may consider it, that and for that limited purpose and for none other. So you can't use it to prove that defendant committed assault, basically. Okay, moving on. Directing your attention to September 22nd, 2022. Did the defendant become upset with you on that day? Yes. What was he upset about? I want to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. Let me rephrase the question. I already know what she's talking about. I know what she's about to minimize, but let's move on. Did there come a point where the defendant texted you about the incident between the two of you? I think I need to understand. I got really overwhelmed in my head then. It's okay. Say it again. Did there come a point where the defendant texted you about your behavior on September 22nd? Objection leading. May we approach? They approach. Sidebar. Okay. Ms. Jabbari, would you see text messages from September 2022 to refresh your recollection? Yes, again, Ms. Jabbari, they're going to be handed to you. Look at them when you're done. If they refresh your recollection, just let us know that they do or don't. If they do, Ms. Galloway will take them back and ask you questions. Yeah. Have you looked at those texts and do they refresh your recollection? Yes. Ms. Galloway, the floor is yours. Okay, he didn't really say that. That's me. Did there come a time when the defendant became upset with you on September 22nd? Yes. What was he upset about? He was upset about an incident. He was upset about his behavior. He was upset at his behavior towards me. Okay, let's see where this one goes. what do you remember the defendant saying to you? He said that he was a monster, he wants to kill himself, and that he puts actions in place to do so. Didn't we already read? Oh, this one's be a text message. Maybe I'm this should be a text message. Okay. Had the defendant had made any threats like this? Yes. And when would the defendant make these threats? After he had been angry towards me. Did the defendant make these threats at any other time? No. What did you do in response to this? Just plead with him. He wouldn't do it. So this is interesting. I need to get a lawyer on here. This is interesting because if the Texans were allowed in because they were overstepping their boundary, this kind of background made it easier to get in. That's what I'm guessing here, because I can already tell that they're already laying the foundation here in case it does. But then again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just grasping at straws, but I do think this part made it a bit easier for it to come in. Whereas if it maybe was not even offered at all, it may not have come. I don't know. I'm just being, yeah. So anyway, just plead with him that he wouldn't do that. It would scare me when he says things like this. It's in a place in its emotion. So I would worry and just say, you can't say things like, you can't say that, like, I love you. What about your mother? What about your daughter? Like, come on, don't say this. That kind of thing. See, that's why I said it, because if the defendants, yes, yeah, if Priya and co were basically arguing that the texts, they were kept out, and the reason why those texts came in was because of him saying, "Oh, why wouldn't you go to authorities?" I don't understand how. I can understand why the hospital one would come in saying, "Don't go to the hospital. You don't, all those things." I can understand why those one would come in to prove that, there was more than one reason why Grace wouldn't want to go volunteer to the police. But this part, I don't get. The suicide part, etc. That has nothing to do with the police. She had already testified. She's already testifying to it here. So why did that part come in? That's what that's the only part I'm like, okay, maybe this kind of foundation allows that to come in as well. Maybe. I have no idea. How would the conversation change after the defendant made the threat he had in that incident? Because I knew where it was working, I said, no, you can't do this. And if it's true, I'm going to have to come and call someone there. I'm worried. And then he would say, no, I'm fine. I'm just, yeah. He would just kind of, it would dispel. So I'm going to go to the chat real quick and say, hey, Z, goes on to say, Z basically says, there's more to it than just him being hurt over saying, yes, absolutely, because it's been shown later on that she doesn't communicate well with him, but with alcohol. But victimizing yourself over saying, yes, I agree. I don't, that doesn't seem logical to me. I mean, I can, like I said, I really do understand people are weird. People can be weird. People have weird things that they do to themselves, right? That's true. But the part that, but those people are what we call psychopaths. Those people are what we call sociopaths. These people that have a different wiring to everyone and are just crazy. They don't make sense. All those things. That doesn't strike me as Jonathan. There's more to this. Like reacting over a setting, because you must have said, at least volunteer that information. Like I said, volunteer the information. You must have said, you must have said that, this is what happened. I said I was doing this, and he reacted this way. I said XYZ, but that didn't happen. It was just, oh, he just reacted out of nowhere. And I'm trying to fill in the blanks. Well, how did he get there? What's the story around that? But she's not forthcoming. So I don't know. I mean, I can't find a reason why you would want to not be forthcoming with this one, because I'm thinking it's more favorable for you to share that, oh, I was working, my phone was on silent, I didn't text back quickly enough, text back anything like that. He was getting worried. I called him. He was like, oh, what happened? It's like, oh, my phone was on airplane mode. It's like, how dare you, okay, how dare you do that? But this is not what she said. She's just saying he just got angry out of nowhere. but she can't narrate how he got there. What did she do? What did he do? That's why I said minimization. Anyway, one second. Let me send this tweet out for everyone uh to join in the stream, and please help me uh get the algorithm on my side, because we know that it doesn't help a lot of people. Like this stream, share this stream, and don't forget to subscribe for more legal cases. We do transcript reads like this, or reads of other important documents. I have compiled at least 4 cases on this channel. The Ari Jacobs versus Taylor Lorenz trial, I have been doing intensive coverage of that before it beat the anti-slap, and it went into the discovery phase. You can go find the compilation of the streams of that in the playlist below. Also, the Tory Lanez trial, done a deep dive into the evidence in regards to that case, analyzing the evidence, analyzing day by day information. Done also a docuseries of that be heard, analyzing all the evidence in that and bringing it together to show how the society, how the media has used this case to gaslight many people, and why that's dangerous. Part 3 is going to be released by the end of this month. Promise on that. And on top of that, the OnlyFans case, Courtney Clenny, that's also going to be live stream on this channel, where I'll get many professionals, hopefully, to join the streams and give their commentary as well as this live stream. Also, Jonathan Majors covered this from the inception till now, and I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me. Yeah, so once again, thank you so much. And if you are considering supporting the channel, do consider sending a super chat or a super thanks if you're part of the replay crew. Any amount that you feel is of value, please do share it. Thank you for listening to for me do that little bit of self-plugging. And what we do on the channel is very important that I do take advantage to do that, because a lot of people don't know what I do on this channel. A lot of people don't know what the channel is about, but I appreciate you for giving me the time and patience to go through that. Okay, so we're going to go back into the transcript read of Grace Jabbari. Here we go. Oh wait, wrong button. Here we go. Okay, so it says after it dispelled, what happened next? Typically, it would go back to being, I would intend to make him feel secure. I would intend to make him feel safe and loved and secure, and he will receive that. Again, she is setting herself to be the perfect person, which is fine. I guess you can do, but I mean, if you know what happened, I wouldn't go with this defense. Moving on. So a new exhibit is being introduced. Ms. Jabbari, do you recognize this? Yes. How do you recognize it? It's a text message between me and Jonathan, and these a fair and accurate description of the text messages sent on the 22nd of September 2022. People would move to admit people's exhibit. Okay. Any objection? Any voudoir? No, Your Honor. All right. Without objection, moved in. I have published the message on yours, the blue ones, and okay. Oh, so these messages. Oh, this was even before the cross. So they were already allowed in before the cross. So what came in then after the cross? So the audio was allowed in. These text messages were allowed in, I'm guessing. So the other text message about not going to hospital, that was only limited to that. Oh, so this was allowed in. Right. Correcting what I said earlier. These texts were allowed in from the beginning. The text messages about going to hospital, etc. Those ones were sealed. Okay, so these ones were actually okay to come in for background. So, and I'm guessing this is showing a pattern of psychological abuse and emotional abuse. So that's what they're trying to establish here. And in my opinion, they didn't establish it, because anyway, moving on, you're gonna see why I hold that opinion soon. So okay, and when did the defendant made a threat of suicide? What happened next? In here, yeah, I just said please don't say this. I'm going to have to call for help. I'm sorry I didn't hug you this morning. Yeah, just said I loved him so much, and what you mean, and what you mean to put into this motion. I believe, let me, okay, so I believe these are the texts that she's referring to. Let me go in here. So these are the texts that she's referring to. So if that was a testimony, this is likely what the response is for. Is just fake, and I fear, and you have fear, and you have and you have I fear, have no perspective of what you could do by having to go to hospital. I don't know. So of course this part didn't come in, but if it's true on what she's saying, then that could be what the fake is referring to, because that would make sense why he would say it's fake. Yeah, I said I love you so much, etc. That would make sense. I'm sorry I didn't hug you, love you so much. That would make sense to why he says in here it's fake. One second, let me go back to that. That would make sense as to why he goes in here and says it's fake. I fear you have no perspective, etc. That would make sense. I feel like you want to. So this part, I don't think they came in yet, but I think she's alluding to the existence of these sexes by what she's saying here. And when you say, "I'm sorry, I didn't hug you this morning," can you explain to the jury members, to the members of the jury? Yeah, the previous night he had got angry with me. That morning, what had occurred? In the morning, I felt just felt intimidated by him, I guess, and I didn't really want to be near him physically, and so I didn't get up and as I usually would like to, as I usually would, to like when it's killing me, man. Stop saying you like. And so I didn't get up as I usually would to like when he would go to work, like make him tea or give him a hug. I just kind of laid in bed. Sorry for going slow, folks. It's a tongue twister. What was the defendant's response to you doing so? He was upset with me. How many times before this approximately had the defendant threatened suicide? I wouldn't know to say an exact number. Is this something that would happen frequently? It would happen after he would get angry. Yeah. And how did you typically react? In a similar way, just to try and talk him around to me. It felt like a response to his feeling bad for what he had been like, and I just wanted him to not threaten that, and I didn't want him to kill himself, and I would just tell him I loved him. How did the defendant threatening suicide impact your behavior in the relationship? I guess I actually just felt like I wasn't allowed to. I had to always look after. I felt I couldn't. It would happen after an argument. Well, I hate to say it, that it would happen after he would be angry at me. Yet he would then need to comfort and support. So I felt I wasn't really allowed that moment of just having someone after me. I had to constantly look after by him saying that he was going to kill himself. And I would worry because I didn't want that to happen. So when I put my care in him, can you explain what you mean by saying that you felt that you didn't have anyone to support you? Yeah, I was never going to tell anyone about stuff, and therefore I only really had him to talk to. Yeah, I did. Did I answer? Sorry. Yes, it's okay. When you spoke to him about the details of your relationship, what would the defendant do in response? Blame me often, say it's my fault. You got me angry in the first place. Sometimes he would say that maybe he will say that he was sorry, but rarely. But you just said, see, this is what I'm talking about minimization. How many times, chat, let me know in the chat, how many times has Grace said he will apologize after every time? Like, it seems constant. It seems like it's a constant thing, but now he's saying he will say he's sorry, but rarely. There's something going on. There's a whole lot of minimization here. Z says in the chat, him talking about pruning himself and all that, that is suicidal thoughts and severe depression coming out. I've dealt with someone with like that before, due to immense self-hatred for themselves. Yeah, I've been through that. I've been through it myself. Not this chronic though, not as chronic as she's making it out to be, but I've been through. I haven't had severe depression, but it's similar. I can sympathize, but of course, I'm not saying that excuses Jonathan's behavior in any way. I'm saying if I'm taking everything for grades for face value, I'm surprised she made it out alive. By what she's saying here, Jonathan may have accidentally killed her or something like that. That's what she. I don't think she realizes that's a framing that she's sending off by reading this code, by doing a code read. But again, it's not stacking up, because she will say things like this that just makes no sense to what she's already set up as a foundation. Going back to C's comment, says, forgot the whole September event took place throughout Failing Magazine Dreams, which is a dark story. So all the darkness is gonna exacerbate his mental disorder. I don't even know. Maybe even at this point he was method acting. So maybe she's just recalling him being character. I have no idea. Could he have been method acting? Maybe. But again, if Grace knew that, then it would make sense why he would never say sorry, but rarely. It wouldn't make sense that Grace says that he always is apologetic, because she has offered so many times where he has apologized, saying, come back, I don't want this and that, but now says he really does it. That doesn't make sense to me. After you had offered to come to his place of work, as you had stated earlier, what did the defendant do in response? It's not there, is it? He said, no, I'm talking with my therapist. Like, I'm not going to harm myself, that kind of thing. Reassured me, so I didn't come. And how did the defendant's text messages speaking about you not giving him a hug and threatening suicide impact you in the relationship? Just felt like I was existing in his world, and emotionally and physically, and all these ways just didn't really feel that way toward me at all. Can you explain to the members of the jury about what you mean by that? Yes, please. I want to know I want to know myself. What did you mean? I think I just had really low self-esteem. I lost a lot of weight, felt really unconfident. I felt like I felt really dependent on him at the same time, because as I said, he was the only one who knew what went on. So it affected the relationship, because I honestly found it hard to. I still did try and see my friends and my family, but every time I saw them, I felt like I was lying to them. Sorry. It's okay, take your time. I felt like I was lying to them, so I felt, I just felt isolated, I guess. Guys, Your Honor, okay, so the the instruction, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's an incident of September 22nd, 2022 that you've just heard about. That evidence was not offered and must not be considered for the purpose of proving that the defendant had a propensity or predisposition to commit these crimes charged in this case. It was offered as evidence for your consideration as background information. If you find that the evidence is believable, you may consider it for that limited purpose and for none other. Right. So again, predisposition means pre-thought, intent, because that was part of the charges here. Propensity means likelihood. Yeah. So intent, state of mind, etc. Ms. Jabbari, directing your attention to January 13th of 2023. Here we go. We're getting to the future. Were you in a relationship with the defendant still? Yes, I don't believe that. How was the relationship at that point? It was good. Yeah. What do you mean by that? We just had Christmas and he spent it with my family and in England on my birthday, and he had been very generous and kind with my friends, and it was really nice. Yeah. It felt like a really nice start. We spent New Year's even together in the new house in New York, and it felt like a really nice time. I know you mentioned your family. You said you hadn't spoken with your family about any issues, any of the issues in your relationship. Correct. Was there anyone you did speak to about the relationship? Yes. Who was that? His manager. So the guy that he called. Oh no, this is the other manager. Should be the other manager. Forgot her name. Priya Santiani. That's the one. And why did you do so? I felt like I needed support from someone who knew him, and I felt safe telling her all the facts without it being kind of yeah. I felt it was a safe person to tell because she also cared for him. Well, and he was the defender manager, Priya Satyani. So if you tell Priya, I don't think, does she realize that this is actually not good? Like, never mind. Of all the people to tell him, why Priya? Anyway, why did you feel she was the first safe person to talk to? Well, initially, that kind of openness within our relationship, me and her, started. I would witness now how he talked to her, and I didn't like it. Wait. Well, initially, that kind of openness within our relationship, me and her, started because I would witness how he talked to her, and I didn't like it. So I would offer her support behind his back. We would have these conversations, and we could make this rapport, just kind of check in on each other. And so when I also wanted, someone who understood his temper and how he can get, but also he understood he was like all the other things as well, like kind of loving. And so you could tell someone they just listen to bad things, whereas I think with Priya, she sees all sides of him like I did. So there was a connection with what was the goal of being able to speak with Priya. I wanted to get support for his temper. Did the defendant learn about the conversation with Miss Setiani? Yes. What happened after he learned about that? He was angry at me and that I told her. Can you explain to the members of the jury? Yeah, he had told me that he had been open with her about our relationship and things that went on. So I felt safe to tell her. Turns out when I told her, she had no idea. So then then she felt she could tell him. I'm going to stop there and ask so judge intervened saying that Ms. Jabbari, what did the defendant do in response to becoming upset with you? He just texted me saying Priya told me everything that you told her told her that kind of thing, and what happened after he sent that text message. He just basically stopped talking to me for a period of time. Do you know approximately how long that period of time was? Yeah, it was intermittent with some text messages. I love you. This is just hard for me, but there's a couple of weeks. Important background information here. Priya was the one that arranged the car to pick up her and Majors on the 25th, 24th or 25th, 24th. And how did the defendant's behavior affect you? I just felt really responsible for it. I felt bad, like maybe I shouldn't have told her. And so I felt like I needed to reassure him that I wouldn't tell anyone else, that I loved him. And okay. And did the relationship continue after this? Yes, I don't believe that. So what happened next? Let me ask one question. Are we moving on from January to January 13th? No. Sorry. This is still January 13th. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Ms. Chowdhury. Do you want to approach? May we approach? Absolutely. So they approach, they had a sidebar, etc. Blah blah blah. Prosecution returns saying, Ms. Priya, after the defendant stopped speaking with you, did there come a time you reconciled the relationship? Yes. How did you reconcile the relationship? Over that whole period, he wasn't totally kind of silent. He would send me pictures of the dogs that we had and just say like, I love you. This is just really hard. And then we started eventually just texting a little more. If this is true, this would explain why he was cheating. If this is true, perhaps this is his guilt coming forth, that he's doing this and he is sending all these messages. I don't know. I wouldn't know this information. I'm just saying this is just someone that just sounds like they're guilty. I don't know. This could be. I'm not too sure. And in that relation, did that relation continue afterwards? Yeah. Okay, Your Honor, I think it's a good stopping point. So you're still on the order for etc. Blah blah. So they moved on. It's now the afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Jabbari. Good afternoon. Moving on. We have been speaking about how you continue your relationship with the defendant. I'm directing your attention to March 2023. Where were you living at the time? In New York. How long have you been living in New York? I moved in December. Why did you move in December? We wanted to live together, and it felt like a good spot between London and LA, which were the other places we would spend our time. What were you doing while you were in New York? I was going I was going to like classes and things like that because I didn't have my visa yet, my working visa, so I couldn't work. But putting that into motion, waiting for the result of that, what kind of classes were you taking? Dance classes and things like that. How was your relationship in March? It was in a good place. March 2020. That can't be. You wouldn't change if it was in a. Let me go to a chat real quick. Z says, I don't know how her and Priya do, don't see how that's highly disrespectful in crossing that boundary between business to personal life about jail and his privacy. It's common. I hate. I used to be a DJ, so I do know a bit about this background. Usually, and managers, artists, they're usually friends anyway. They're usually family members sometimes, or all those things. So it's not out of the blue that they would do it, that they will become friends or something like that. Obviously, I don't know how Majors and Satyani became business partners, etc. But it's not uncommon to have your manager be like your confidant, where and play the role of a therapist, for example, and not be a therapist, like, but just being that shoulder to talk to or shoulder to lie on or whatever. So that is quite common in the entertainment industry. What stuck out at me is how Jonathan, the way she's positing it, she being Grace Jabbari, is how Jonathan was yelling at Priya. Um, that is a bit off to me. That doesn't seem like it's in a realm of possibility because I mean, unless Priya messed up a business deal or something like that, messed up a contract, those are the only times I would think it would warrant you to yell at your manager. Maybe it's the way I am as a person. Maybe that's what it is. I just can't imagine, with his background, educational background, etc. I can't imagine that. Like, I don't know. He seems like the type to be respectful of authority. That's just me. Because I would only yell at somebody if they really mess up royally. So if she's pausing it, saying like it's a normal thing that she's good that Priya is going through, I will call BS on that. I don't know. Like, unless Priya was consistently bad at her job, I just can't see Jonathan doing it. I'm not. Bear in mind, I'm not a fanboy. I don't know Jonathan's discography outside of Lovecraft Country, Creed that I haven't seen, Loki that I've seen. I have seen Loki. I'll be honest, but it wasn't for Jonathan. Truth be told, it was for Owen Wilson, because I actually wanted to see how Owen would actually adapt to this role. He was really out of his realm, because he's usually a comedian. He usually does comedies with Vince Vaughn, I believe his name is. So it was great. Well, we had seen him for Marvel, and that was my pull to the movie. Not really Jonathan Majors, but is he a bad actor? No, I don't think so. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm not a fanboy, but so I have no reason to stick up for Majors. But if just something sounds off with this story, especially with what she said about Priya, that just sounds off to me. Did you see a future in the relationship? Yeah, it was often talked about, like children, marriage. He said he picked the ring. He just waited for the right time, things like that. All right, let's take it on for truth. It will unravel itself one way or the other. And where were you living in New York? In Chelsea? And was it an apartment or penthouse? The penthouse, yeah. And what kind of responsibilities do you have related to the apartment? Well, it was already decorated, but probably not to our taste. So it was more like cleaning things away, like that the landlord had left there, and just putting them. There was like a shed on the roof that I would put the stuff we didn't want there, and then just buying things to make it look nice, getting a coffee machine, things like that. And were those specifically things that you were in charge of? Well, because I wasn't working, yeah. And because you weren't working, how did you help buy those things? Well, at the beginning, I was using my card, but then he was working and everything more. He said just to take his, have this card. This will be your card. Like just use it for everything while you're here. Put it on your Uber Eats. Because I would order food for us in the evenings or go to the supermarket, get food. So things like this, he wanted to take their responsibility away from me since I was not earning at all at that point. Did he offer to do that? Yes. The objection of leading overruled. Okay. I will sidebar for a second here and just say what they're trying to set up here is financial abuse. And this is the only part I will place caution to anybody. Look, I'm not giving you advice or anything like that. What I would personally do, avoid joint accounts, man. If you are in a relationship with someone, avoid joint accounts. Just avoid it. You're opening yourself up to things like this. You are, in my opinion, you are. Let everyone have their separate accounts. Don't share it because it can be used against you one day. I'm just saying, don't just be smart going into relationships nowadays because everything is a minefield for you. I'm not. I'm a massive. I am an optimist. I am an optimist. I do want the best for people. I do think there will be a course correction. I just believe in being smart. Like don't do things like this. Like obviously, if she wants help, give her help, but don't she like really, really give independence. Honestly, anyone you take on, give them their full independence if you can. Things like this, nice. No good deed goes unpunished. It will come back to you one day, or whatever. You don't have to listen to me, but I just think that's the best way to go. Yeah, people will disagree. That's fine, but I am over it. I'm really over it. Honestly, I'm really over it. What kind of things did you use that credit card for? Just everything, day-to-day things, yeah. Even to pay for the classes and stuff I went to, he just said use it as if it's your card. And to clarify, Chelsea Mahan, correct? Correct. And so directing your attention to March 24th, 2023, do you remember that day? Yes. What were your plans that morning? Initially, we didn't really have any plans, and then he said, I canceled my morning meetings. Let's go for brunch. So we went and we picked somewhere and we walked there together in hand. So this was the day of the incident. Really nice morning. We were having brunch, like walking around the city, getting coffee, things like that. What was the mood of that morning? Really, really nice, like really, really loving and sweet. Very like, yeah, it was just a really nice day. Can you tell the members of jury what, if any, plans you had that evening? We have been thinking about going to this play, and it was that the last night. So this would be going to, I forgot what it's called now. Something. It was a. Forgot what it's called. Forgot what it's called. And he managed to. He texted me from his office saying, I managed to get us tickets to this show. So then we made plans to do that and found a restaurant to go to after. So then was our evening plans. When you say show, well, okay, this one, bam, bam, Brooklyn Academy of Music. Okay, uh, where were you planning to on going to dinner? There was a spot that I had been to a few weeks before with a friend that was nearby. I really liked, so I booked us there. Cold Waters. Do you remember what the play was? I've totally forgotten the name of it, but yeah, I can't remember the name of in this moment right now. That's okay. Do you remember approximately what time the play was? I think it started around 7:30. And as you were heading into the evening, what was the defendant's demeanor in the apartment? It was just the same, really loving, really nice. Like he had given me this beautiful day. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Like he had given me this beautiful day, like spontaneous, and yeah, actually very intimate day. Do I carry on? No, that's okay. Go ahead. When we left the apartment, it was fine. But then in the elevator of our apartment, like to leave, he commented on my outfit, just saying I had too many buttons undone and I need to do one up. So what did you do in response? I did it up. All right, let's see. Let's test the truthfulness of this statement. I'm gonna go to Kat's Twitter because she did make a good post. 1 second. Let me just get the tweet up because this post is very I hate liars, man. I don't hate as a person. I just don't like lying. It's really draining to even keep up and just try and you know be fair when I know someone is lying. Damn it. Right. I can't find it. Okay. So I'm gonna try and find it. The evidence here. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be there. 1 second. Let me get it up. Bear with me, not long now. But yeah, while you're waiting for me to get this evidence up, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in onto the stream. This is the part 3 of Grace's direct testimony on the 5th of December 2000 and 2020 2023, and we're going to I'm going to like try and find, yes, okay, so I believe it's here. I think it's here. Okay, so got it. Right. So let's go back. Got it here. Okay, so this is what she's referencing. So okay, so this is what she's referencing. You can see a timestamp. So this is flipping it. So this is they go into an elevator. Wait, hold up. This is the elevator that she's referring to. They go into it. She says he makes a comment about a tub being too down. As you can see, he does it up. She does it up. Right. And does it back down again. So what is she referring to? I don't understand that. She does it right back down again anyway. As you can see, the top is down. Only Cat at spot that because the top is down. The top is I don't know why she would testify to doing that. But again, like I said, it seems to me like she was coached to pick up on these things. Coach advice. I'm running out of words. Allegedly, all right, allegedly. So I did it up. Okay, so did there come a time when the defendant's demeanor shifted? At that point, why do you believe that was the case? I wasn't really sure, to be honest. I don't know. How could you tell the defendant's demeanor changed? It went from like holding my hand and hugging me to cold, and he wasn't really looking at me, just as something has shifted. Okay, I did see this shift. I'm not gonna lie, I did see it. When I was watching it, I made a note of it as well because, as you can see, she walked out first. Yep, they were not actually hold up. Didn't share the tab with you. They were not actually holding hands anymore. I will rewind a little bit. to show you the shift. Yeah, they were not holding hands. I think this is what she's referring to. And he was walking first. Again, he seemed distant. I did say that on a couple of streams, that they didn't look as if they were, pretty much as serious as Grace was making it out to be, because I personally think he was going to break up. I am adamant. I am so adamant on that point that I don't think, I do think, was there a likelihood of uh of her of Jonathan saying, do your button up? Maybe, but I don't know why she would do it back down if it was a big deal. But anyway, I can't hear. So yeah, anyway. And what did you do next? Well, we had walked through the lobby out to the car. He organized. You said he organized. Do you know how he organized it? Is he either him or the manager booked it? The manager booked it. That's the usual practice. And who paid for the car? He did, of course. And had you ever ridden a car previously? I couldn't say 100%, but similar cars. It would be a similar car service. I imagine. If not, I have never been with that driver, but the car normally would be the same car. Going to publish exhibit 5. This is when Judge forgot his name already. Forgot his name. Ms. Galloway, I'm just going to let the jury know. Members of the jury, yesterday you heard stipulations about certain evidence that could come in on the concern of both parties. This is part of this evidence that parties stipulated. So this is People's 5. Can all the members of the jury see this? And can the defense see? Yes. Okay, we'll be playing until 1:13. Can you pause it? Okay, so this must be the chase video. Miss Jabbari, where is the video taken in? In the elevator of what building? In our apartment building. Do you know approximately what time this was taken? I imagine between 6:30 and 7. Was it earlier in the night? Yeah, it was on our way to the theater. So it's the video that we just saw, basically. ADA Perez, would you pause the video? Ms. Jabbari, at this point, what had occurred in the elevator? Yep, he commented that I need to do my button up. Is this when you spoke earlier about the defendant's demeanor shifting? Is this the point that where he did shift? Yeah, it was different from the beginning. Walking into the bottom, I don't. I'm gonna go back to the video once again. I don't think that's. I'm not an expert body reader or whatever, but I don't think. I think I don't. I think the comment was different. Did he gesture? I'm not okay. He said something about the top. She does it up. Oh, I forgot to share it again. My bad. Forgot to share it again. So it does. Okay. So it was down. Her breast was showing. She wasn't wearing any bra. She does it up. Says that look good. And then she does it a bit down. Yeah, it's not done up as she was saying, because she was saying if you're trying to use this, if you're trying to use this event to prove he was controlling on how you dress, allegedly, if you're trying to use that to basically say that's what he was doing, well, you've done a bad job following instructions, because you said you do the button up and you've done it up a few bit. To me, it just sounds like he was just maybe fashion advice. Hey, maybe he doesn't look so down, being all the way down. Do it up a little bit. Show you can still show a little bit, but I have no idea. But this is why I'm like, listen, just don't do anything. Don't advise anything. Don't say anything to your partner. If she dresses like she's going to the beach in the middle of winter and she's dressing all bikini, let her. Like, just do it. Let it. If you're not happy with it, please just walk. But don't say anything, because it will be used against you one day. Read them, ladies. Make sure you read them your rights. If you Ladies, when you're reading your rights, if you tell me what to wear, this will be held against you in a court of law. Read him his rights. Oh my, I know I'm on my own on that joke. But anyway, it says, goes on to say, Miss Jabbari, were you walking later into the video, through the lobby, like, and out to the car? Is that the car that you were with the whole night? Yes. What was the mood like once you entered the vehicle? It wasn't very pleasant. Can you explain that? He just kind of stopped talking to me, and I didn't really understand why, because I had done what he asked me to do. Well, you didn't. Oh, okay. Do you understand that he was upset with you because of the button? Objection, yes, sustained. That's leading. Why do you believe the defendant was upset with you? Well, I wasn't really unsure what would trigger it. Objection overruled. She's not our. She's about to answer why she's not sure. Overruled. So yeah, I knew that the only action that happened between getting in the lift, the elevator, and walking out through the car was that he had commented on that. But I had done what he had said, so I was unsure as to why. But okay, I believe this. Based on the CCTV, I can believe what she's trying to say here. I don't know. We didn't hear Jonathan speak, so I don't know why I said for this bit. Did the defendant tell you why he was upset? Not at that point, no. Did there come a time when the defendant told you why he was upset? Yes. What was that? What was that? What was that reason? I asked him. I said, "What is wrong? Like, why are you just not talking to me? It's just an awkward car journey." And he said, "It's your fault." I said, "Why?" And yeah, he just said, "It's your fault." I said, "But why?" And he said, "Because I told you Priya, and now she's told everyone." So it has nothing to do with how you dress. I told you there was more to this. I'm like, it seems like if he was really upset about about how she was dressing, etc., he would have made it adamant that she put it all the way up. But it seemed like he just didn't care, and maybe he made that throwaway comment to get this out because he had this issue with the prayer thing, the whole prayer thing. Maybe that was the central issue too, and that was his way of expressing, even though he did not feel strongly about it. You see what I'm trying to say? Because I knew, like, it just didn't look like, oh, I want you, but it just seemed like, I'm gonna poke your button, poke your, pardon the pun. I didn't see the pun before, but pardon the pun. But moving on. At that point, did the defendant's demeanor change? Yeah, it was just a heightened version of the kind of cold, yeah, like as if I didn't exist kind of thing. Was the defendant shouting at you? No. So how do you know he was angry? It was quite clear. He goes from sweet, loving, affectionate to feeling like he hates you kind of thing. So you just, what did you do in response? I was quite taken aback. That it was that it that I was okay. I was quite taken aback that it was that why he was upset. Man, you're retarded. Come on, man. Sorry. So I sent him a text just saying I didn't agree that she would have told you. She's not retarded. I'm just having tongue twisters. My tongue is twisting just trying to read it. She's not retarded. I'm sorry. She not said that. Like, I'm having really difficulty like following what she's trying to say here. I'll stop you there. So by the time that you arrived at the play, did the defendant's demeanor change? Slightly, yeah. He became a bit more like his performance mode, in public. There was people he knew there. How long was the car ride between Chelsea and the Brooklyn Academy of Music? Around 30 minutes. And you said he was in performance mode. Can you explain for the members of the jury what that means? Yeah, I guess I just like knowing that he was being seen in that moment by peers or just public. How was your mood at the play? My mood was probably just quite neutral. I think it was just quite desperate to have a nice time. So just pretend that little moment didn't happen and just have a nice evening at the theater. I was about to go back to London for a while. So I just wanted us really badly to have a nice night. You said you were about to go back to London. What were you going to London for? For a job. Okay, so we're gonna adjourn there. Thank you so much, everyone who are tuning. I'm just gonna read the chats real quickly. Okay, no new chats coming. So I'm going to. Oh, I think you've already said that. Okay, so I'm going to. Let me see what new chats coming in. Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in onto this stream. I'm going to adjourn there. It's page 101. We're gonna pick this up tomorrow, where I'm gonna continue this testimony reading. I'm gonna hopefully get it through tomorrow. Get it through to Devon, because she testified for 2 more days. So December 6th and 7th are the next 2 days. The crush is coming very soon. But of course, we know that she chased him, and we know the other facts of the case, of the fact that he cheated on her. So if she's saying that things were rosy, if they were still together, and if he was cheating, I would want to know why she lost it, because that is something I am not prepared for. Like, the context behind her losing it, etc. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for the transcript read. Thank you so much for tuning in onto tonight's stream. Well, tonight in the UK, afternoon or morning in the other side of the world of Oceania, and the North and North American side. So thank you so much for tuning in once again. Make sure you check out the other content on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist for the other streams that we've done, and the coverage of the Jonathan Majors trial. It's all in a neat playlist for you. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Take care of yourself. Have a great day. Thank you once again for your comments, for your chat. You guys are the real MVP. Make sure you go check out drheinz.info for more info, the sources and citations that I've used in this stream. Take care of yourself and have a nice day. Bye bye.